Spiders are builders. Some weave webs of silk. Others craft webs of meaning. Across the multiverse, these spiders toil to uphold what is complex, vital, and delicate. They safeguard equity, hope, and responsibility. Their combined efforts form the great web of life and destiny, and I am its essence, the web heart. But I have foreseen a grim truth. Spiders will inevitably clash with an equally mighty force in a destructive battle for survival. To prevent senseless bloodshed, I've negotiated with my counterpart to wage this war as a great game. The outcome will decide whether every Spider-Man in the multiverse survives, or faces utter erasure. I must choose 7 spiders from the multiverse to face the champions selected by my counterpart. So far, I've chosen a leader, a wildcard, a revolutionary, a weapon, an artist, and an orphan. Now, one final choice remains. I cast my consciousness across the threads of the great web to find the last piece.
I am Peter Parker, the spectacular Spider-Man. But I'm an underdog in this wild world of superheroes, monsters, and literal gods. Sometimes, I just dream about how incredible it'd be to have the strength of the Hulk. But now, I don't have to imagine anymore. If you guys don't know, in Web of Spider-Man Chapter 70, Spider-Man gets Hulk powers thanks to a biokinetic device. Peter crashes through the window in a rush, startling Mary Jane. She's worried seeing his costume all torn up, but breathes a sigh of relief when she sees he's unharmed. Peter tells her to relax, but MJ's not having it. What are you thinking, Peter? Jumping through the window in broad daylight? What if someone saw you? Just then, boom! The Green Goblin swoops in, cackling that infamous Goblin laugh. Peter snaps, transforming into Hulk and lunging at Goblin. With one spider smash, he sends Goblin rocketing through the air. But while he's raging like the Hulk, Dr. Octopus sneaks in, kidnapping MJ. Doc Ock thinks he can use her as a hostage to force Spider-Man to do his bidding. Big mistake. Spider-Man crushes him with a single leap. Then Rhino charges in, but Spider-Man snaps Rhino's horn and slams him into the ground. He's about to strike again when MJ shouts, "Stop!" Spider-Man roars in her face, but then, oh no, he realizes he's messed up. MJ walks away, heartbroken, as Peter tries to stop her. But sirens blare, the police arrive, and Spider-Hulk has no choice but to flee. Spider-Man's inner monologue kicks in. If you're thinking about becoming a Hulk, listen to me. Maybe think twice. Sure, you won't lose fights anymore, but you'll lose everything else. We see Spider-Man, alone, living in isolation. Back to the Webheart. He analyzes Spider-Hulk.
So much power. But if I were to choose him, my counterpart would surely counter with someone equally dangerous. Or perhaps worse, my team of spiders would be left relying on someone who seems to lack self-control or any shred of direction. No, this spider lacks the drive, the clarity of purpose I seek. My search continues.
To another alternate universe, where vampires and vampire hunters exist. This time, we see Mary Jane von Helsing, who was hired by a town to eliminate a vampire named Count Park. According to local legends, he tried to save his dying uncle by experimenting with the venom of an eternal vampire spider, and gained immortality. She was slowly losing interest in the world. At first, she always used to listen and promise to avenge their families. But nowadays, she can't even pay attention to the details and only works for money. Mary Jane makes her way to a castle located on the outskirts of the town. She felt a little hint of excitement this time, like something was calling her. As soon as she entered the house, fangs attacked her. Ordinary people, held in a psychic thrall, she always knocks them out instead of killing them, because there is a chance they could return to normal after the Count is killed. Mary Jane enters a lab, where animal-human hybrids resembling Vulture, Doc Ock, Rhino, and Scorpion were placed in big capsules. Mary Jane knew that one of them was going to pop out and attack her, and that's exactly what happened. Rhino broke out of the capsule and attacked her, but she dodged him and used a sharpened wooden stake to kill him. She then walked into an empty room, where she finally met Count Parker, Spider-Man of this universe. After exchanging some words, they engaged in a fight. But just as Mary Jane was about to drive the stake through his heart, something stopped her, a vision of them, living together happily across different universes. Mary Jane lost her parents to vampires when she was little. That's why she started working as a vampire hunter. But after some time, she lost interest in the world and gradually started living like a dead person, working only for money. But this time, she finally found someone. They were fated to be together, and that's why she let him bite her. It hurt at first, but after a while, pleasure is all she feels. She stands at the top of the castle with Spider-Man, looking at the mob of angry people coming toward the castle. But now, she has a family. Sure, they're blood-crazy spider hybrids or lunatic zombies, but she's not alone anymore. We see Mary Jane and Spider-Man jumping from the roof, as MJ says her famous line,
"Go get him, Tiger."
Back to the Webart.
I sense years of wisdom in this Spider-Man, the rare gift of a long life that only a few Spider-Men in the multiverse ever know. Could he be the one I seek? Or perhaps his newly turned Mary Jane? Through the bite, she's now bound to the web of life and destiny. But, no. While both wield undeniable power and the drive I need, they fight for a life of pleasure and indulgence, not the purpose I'm searching for. And so, my search continues once again.
In another universe, Earth 2501 was attacked by the Kree Empire during the war between the Kree and the Skrulls. The Kree transformed Earth into a forward operating base in their ongoing war. Most of the human population was eliminated. While there are still some survivors, they can only hide and search for supplies to survive. All the superheroes, mutants, and enhanced individuals were killed during the invasion, and the remaining ones were hunted down by Kree soldiers in the years that followed. Now, the only heroes left on Earth are Miles Morales and his uncle, Prowler. They're caught in a dangerous situation. While trying to evacuate some survivors, a new Kree control ship appears over the city. Its updated scanners are bypassing every cloaking device they have. If those sensors aren't disabled soon, they can either step outside and be captured, or wait for the Kree army to find them. Miles refuses to let that happen. He heads out with Prowler to take care of the control ship. While sneaking into the ship, Prowler realizes that although the scanner is new, this is an old model of a Kree control ship. With a little tuning, he can make the entire ship explode. But Miles is against it. His reason? The ship is full of soldiers. And even if they're the enemy, we can't just slaughter them like killers. Prowler argues that sometimes, they have to make hard choices. But Miles decides instead to hack the system from the inside and deactivate the scanner. That way, nobody dies, and they still get the job done. When asked where he got this hero-like moral code, Miles says he used to think his powers were just an accident, something that happened when a spider bit him while he was scavenging for supplies. But later, he found out about Spider-Man. That couldn't be just random. So he chose to carry on Spider-Man's legacy, and even took his name. Miles is trying to be the kind of hero Spider-Man was. Prowler comments, "We don't even know him. We don't know how he would have handled any of this," but he still agrees to go with Miles' plan. They sneak into the control ship and head toward the system room, but things go wrong. The Kree have already changed their operating system, and Miles has no idea what to do next. Just as panic sets in, a Kree soldier arrives and shoots Prowler. Miles defeats him quickly, but it's too late. As Prowler dies in his arms, he tells him, "When rules give oppressors all the power, it's our responsibility to break those rules." That moment changes everything. Miles realizes that moral values are a luxury, something you can only afford when you're strong. This incident completely changes how Miles Morales sees the world. He blows up the ship. He rescues the survivors. And now, this Miles takes on the name of both the man he never knew and the man he knew best of all. With the name Spider-Prowler, Miles becomes a resolute and capable warrior, fighting for the future of humanity. Back to the Webart.
This Miles Morales has a heart untouched by corruption, yet hardened by the relentless brutality of war. He fights for his own, no matter the cost. Yes, he is the one. I've made my final decision and am ready to seal the negotiations. His counterpart responds, "My own search continues, but I'll complete it swiftly, for I am eager to begin the great game."
So this concludes the first issue of Web of Spider-Verse, and the next story will be in the Web of Venomverse, where we'll see things from the perspective of Webhart's counterpart. Since Webart is the essence of the web of life and destiny, the force that holds the entire Spider-Verse together, I think this counterpart is going to be the essence of the Venomverse. In the Venomverse Reborn storyline, we saw something similar where Eddie Brock becomes the eventuality, a being who supervises his alternate selves in the unbeyond. He worked just like Webart, but he could only interfere with versions of Eddie Brock. So this counterpart is not going to be the eventuality, but something similar. And after he selects his team, we'll finally step onto the main stage, where Spider-Verse vs. Venomverse will begin. So tell me in the comments, are you excited for this? Because I'm really excited. And also, let me know if you want me to continue this series, because I make what you want to see. Till then, you can watch this video where I explained every non-green version of Hulk, or the other video where we scale Red Hulk's power based on his feats in the comics. Now, I'm clocking out.